Hi there. Thanks for joining me. I'm Judd Rex, City Manager for the City of Garland. Today I want to walk you through Garland's 2025 bond program, what it is, why it matters, and how it could impact the future of our city. This bond program includes 4 propositions that voters will see on the May 3rd ballot. Normally, if we were in a town hall setting, I'd be introducing a few of our key team members who help lead the different areas of the bond program. I want to thank and recognize everyone who has been a part of putting the 2025 bond program together. The City Council, the Bond Study Committee, and all of Team Garland. And just like in our live town hall meetings, I want you to know that this presentation is all about providing information, not persuasion. We're not here to tell you how to vote. Our role is to make sure you have the facts, the background, and the context you need to make an informed decision. So let's talk about what we'll cover. We'll start with some background, why the City Council called for a bond election in the first place, and how the Bond Study Committee helped shape what's on the ballot. We'll compare the 2019 bond program to this new one, break down each of the 4 propositions, and talk about how this will or won't impact your taxes. And we'll wrap up with answers to some of the most frequently asked questions and voter information. Let's dive in. So, why a bond election? The short answer is this. Our ability to continue delivering high-quality city services depends on growing Garland's economy, and the 2025 bond program is about making targeted investments to support that goal. But let's rewind a bit. The City Council formed a bond study committee made up of 19 Garland residents. There are 2 residents from each council district, and the mayor appointed 3 committee members. This team met over the course of several months to study Garland's challenges and opportunities and make recommendations to City Council about what should be included in a new bond program. What they found was pretty striking. Garland's property and sales tax revenue is significantly lower per person than in neighboring cities. In fact, we estimate we're about $88 million below average every year compared to similar-sized cities in the region. At the same time, we're running out of space to grow. Garland is about 97% built out, which means we don't have large tracts of vacant land for new development. That limits our ability to grow the tax base the traditional way, so we need to be strategic. That's where redevelopment comes in. The committee recognized that unless we invest in infrastructure and targeted revitalization, we'll struggle to maintain the services our community expects. Things like safe streets, quality parks, public safety, libraries, and more. So their recommendation was clear. We need a bond program that helps us grow, not just in size, but in economic strength. That's the vision behind Grow Garland. And I want to recognize that the word grow will mean different things to different people, sometimes even having a negative meaning. For example, you might think that Grow Garland means building high-rise apartments in your backyard, or that the city is just trying to grow its budget. In the context of the 2025 bond program, Grow Garland means that we are trying to grow Garland's economy. Now let's talk about how this bond compares to the last one. Back in 2019, Garland voters approved a $423 million bond program. That program came with a 6.5-cent tax rate increase, and it focused on core public services and quality of life amenities, things like parks, libraries, fire stations, an updated animal shelter, and improvements to the downtown square. Fast forward to today. More than 70% of those 2019 bond projects are already complete, and 100% are in progress. That's huge. The new Holford Rec Center is opening soon, the North Garland Library has been renovated, and a brand new West Branch Library and major renovations to Central Library are nearly complete. 2 more fire stations are under construction. We've added more than 24 upgraded playgrounds and made big investments downtown. There's a new senior activity center on the way, along with a brand new state-of-the-art surf and swim aquatic center. So that bond was about building Garland. The 2025 bond is about growing Garland. The focus has shifted from investing in amenities that primarily serve residents to investing in projects that will also grow our economy, attract outside spending, and shift more of the tax burden off of our residents and onto a healthier, broader tax base. That's the difference between Build Garland and Grow Garland. Let's take a closer look at what's included in the 2025 program. Proposition A, streets. We're starting with streets because, let's be honest, they're always top of mind. Proposition A is the largest in the 2025 program, $230 million. It includes funding for street and alley improvements all across the city, plus beautification of major gateways and corridors. The city currently invests about $30 million annually in street maintenance. Proposition A would add to that, giving us the resources to take our system to the next level over the next 5 years. In 2024, we hired a company to evaluate every street and alley in Garland, more than 2,600 miles of roadway. They assessed ride quality, potholes, cracks, and general pavement condition. Then they gave every segment a score from 0 to 100, kind of like a report card. Our overall street score came back as a 70. If we were in high school, that's a C. For residential streets, the score was 69. For alleys, just 51. City Council set a goal to raise those scores over the next 5 years to improve the average residential street score from 69 to 75 and alley scores from 51 to 60. That's what this funding aims to accomplish. And here's the reality. If we don't invest now, those scores won't stay flat. They'll decline. Within 5 years, we'd likely see our average drop to 66, with a growing backlog of nearly $500 million in repairs. It's never cheaper to fix a street than it is today. So Proposition A is about catching up and staying ahead, and it's focused on the street in front of your house and the alley behind your house. The second part of Proposition A is about appearances, specifically the image people get when they enter Garland. $20 million is set aside for gateway and corridor beautification. That includes medians, crosswalks, landscaping, signs, and other infrastructure that defines how Garland looks and feels, especially along major roads and entry points into our city. These projects are about pride of place. They help improve perception and create a more welcoming, appealing environment for residents, businesses, and visitors alike. Next up, Proposition B, $75 million for economic development. This is the proposition that helps us think big. It's no secret that Garland's economy doesn't generate the same level of property or sales tax as other cities in our region. And that puts more pressure on our residents and local businesses to carry the load. Simply put, Garland has not gotten its fair share of quality growth and development, and its taxpayers are paying for that. Proposition B includes 4 tools to change that: revitalization, neighborhood vitality, land assembly, and development incentives. Let's break each of those down. First, revitalization. You know the shopping centers and storefronts around town that have seen better days? We've all driven past them. These are often roadblocks to new investment. Using similar economic development funding from the 2019 bond, we've already helped transform some of these spaces, like the Fortunate Son restaurant in downtown Garland. That one investment, along with improvements to the downtown square, helped increase sales tax revenue in the area by more than double. We want to do more of that all across Garland. That's the power of revitalization. Second, neighborhood vitality. Our neighborhoods are the heartbeat of the city. We want to continue investing in programs that make neighborhoods stronger, more beautiful, and more connected. That includes grants for signage, beautification, traffic calming, small-scale infrastructure, and home improvement incentives. And in some cases, it means buying blighted properties, tearing them down, and reinvesting in the neighborhood, like we did with the old apartments in South Garland that are now becoming a brand new neighborhood park. Third, land assembly. Garland is 97% built out, and our remaining developable land is often small and scattered. This funding would allow the city to buy and consolidate land in strategic areas, South Garland, the Medical District, and Harbor Point, so we can partner with developers to bring in the kinds of projects that grow our economy and improve quality of life. Thanks to similar economic development funding in the 2019 bond program, we've built a track record of buying property and preparing it for redevelopment. The city now has over 50 acres assembled along 635 and has purchased land around the VA hospital to develop healthcare infrastructure to serve Garland, which has been noted as one of the largest cities in America without a hospital in its boundaries. We want to change that. And finally, development incentives. To compete with other cities in the region, we need resources to attract employers, retailers, restaurants, and entertainment options that currently bypass Garland. This doesn't mean handing out blank checks. It means carefully structured agreements where the city invests in public infrastructure or offers grants that deliver a measurable return, jobs, sales tax, and amenities that serve the whole community. Proposition C, cultural arts. Proposition C is all about the Granville Arts Center. Built in 1982, it's served as a regional hub for arts and culture for more than 40 years, and it's showing its age. Today, the Granville draws more than 75,000 visitors annually and generates over $18 million in economic impact, not just through ticket sales, but through restaurants, retail, and hotel stays. But many of its systems, like HVAC, fire suppression, and electrical, are at the end of their life, and it was built before the Americans with Disabilities Act, so accessibility is a real challenge. Proposition C includes $25 million for critical renovations, updated infrastructure, improved seating and accessibility, a redesigned lobby and box office, new classroom and rental space, and an improved front facade that better connects the center to the revitalized downtown square. This investment helps ensure the Granville continues to be a source of pride, creativity, and economic activity for years to come. Proposition D, Parks and Recreation. This one focuses on our most underutilized natural asset, the lakefront at Harbor Point. Lake Ray Hubbard is one of the largest lakes in North Texas, and Garland has a prime stretch of waterfront along I-30. We want to make it more accessible and more inviting, not just for residents, but for visitors and potential development partners. Proposition D includes $30 million to build walking trails, improve access, and add new parks and recreation features in this area. Think of this like what we did with the downtown square, a public improvement that makes the area more attractive, usable, and vibrant, laying the groundwork for future private investment and regional impact. With the 4 propositions behind us now, let's talk about the impact the bond election will have on your taxes. First, it's important to note that your city tax bill is broken down into 2 portions, one that covers the city operations and maintenance rate, and one that covers the city's debt service payments, the debt service rate. I'm happy to share that unlike the 2019 bond program, there is no tax rate increase proposed with this bond program. The city's current tax rate of 0.6891 cents per $100 of taxable value will not change as a result of the bond election. Back in 2019, voters approved a 6.5 cent tax rate increase. That increase, combined with paying off older debt and the city's growing tax base, gives us the capacity to invest $360 million without raising the rate. That increase, combined with paying off older debt and the city's growing tax base, gives us the capacity to invest $360 million without raising the rate. Your total tax bill is made up of 5 different tax rates and tax entities, with the city making up about 30% of your total tax bill. Garland ISD is the largest portion of the tax bill, and your tax dollar also funds Parkland Hospital, Dallas County, and Dallas College. An average valued home in Garland, which is $252,000, with both a homestead and senior exemption, would pay about $1,200 per year in city taxes. City Council recently gave the thumbs up to an increase in the homestead and senior exemptions, which will appear as relief on future tax bills. Since 2020, the city has lowered its tax rate nearly 8 cents, saving the average homeowner about $200 per year. Now to answer some frequently asked questions. First, will the bond election result in a tax rate increase? No, there will not be a tax rate increase if the bond is passed. How does the tax rate impact what I see on my tax bill? I do want to point out that your property's appraised value may still increase. That's set by the Dallas Central Appraisal District, or DCAD, but the city's portion of the rate will stay the same. If the bond doesn't pass, or if there wasn't a bond, would the tax rate decrease? No. The city has many needs. In fact, the Bond Study Committee identified over $1 billion in capital needs, and that doesn't include the projects that were not included in the 2019 bond program. If the bond doesn't pass, the City Council will have to reevaluate what to do with available debt capacity. Also, if the bond doesn't pass, by law, the city cannot issue debt for that same project for a period of 3 years. Can I vote on the proposition separately? Yes. You will see each one on the ballot and can vote on them individually. Now don't forget that early voting runs from April 22nd to April 29th, and that Election Day is Saturday, May 3rd. For more information or to find your polling place, visit growgarland.com or dallascountyvotes.org. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about Garland's 2025 bond program. Again, our role isn't to tell you how to vote, it's to give you the information you need. We believe these are smart, strategic investments that will help Garland grow, not just in size, but in economic strength. Thanks again, and don't forget to vote on May 3rd.